Ring a ding ding.
Go, we live.
Cat in the fiddle. What's going on, dude?
Not much, man. Another week gone by. How you been?
Well, a little bit busy, a little bit frantic, and a little bit inspired, I think.
All right. Well, let's get into that in a minute. But how about positive focus?
Positive focus. I had an idea last night for a hot sauce, baby. I'm Jeff Levine, Silk City Hot Sauce. He's been on both the Get Shit Done show at this point and the Tellman and Fellman show. He was a super fan of both, a local guy, local friend. And he introduced me. No, not he introduced me, but whatever. Anyway, point is, he's a cool guy. He has a hot sauce business. He sells comic books and ephemera on eBay as his main money maker. His wife has an Etsy shop that she runs. They have a couple of daughters, and he and I have been talking about hot sauce and collaborating on a hot sauce. And how we're going to sell it and how we're going to market it and how we're going to grow it. And I think I figured it out.
Nice.
And he and I have been talking about it, and I came up with a hot sauce. So that's it's going to be really free. I mean, I'll tell you about it later, but
okay.
We talked about it, I think, fairly publicly on an episode. So, when it was in the early stages. So I'll tell you some more details today. I need to figure out whether I'm going to keep anything to myself or not. I don't know if I am.
No,
that's
awesome.
What I'm excited about.
Cool.
I got a name for a hot sauce. I got a whole business model for a whole line of hot sauces, and I got a way to sell them that nobody's ever sold them before, and that might work.
Awesome. That's great, dude. Can't wait to hear more about it as it unfolds. Before I do positive focus, and speaking of hot sauce, have you ever heard of Dave's Hot Chicken?
Yeah, I think I may have heard of it, but that's all I got. I don't know.
Yeah,
not really.
So they're opening one nearby, and Gavin, that's my son. He's 17. He asked me, "Dad, are you going to go have it?" Which I found to be very strange because he knows I don't like hot things at all, not even remotely.
So is Dave's Hot Chicken like a new version of Buffalo Wild Wings or something? Is it basically like a hot wing place?
My understanding is yes. It's just all hot chicken.
Yeah.
So he engaged with me on this subject, which is a big deal because Gavin's a very quiet kid.
Oh, okay. So he started ruffling your feathers a little bit?
A little bit. He knows I hate hot sauce, and he just kept going and going and going. Like, we should go try the ghost pepper hot chicken, this, that. And I'm like, dude, shut up. I'm not trying hot chicken. Like, dude, what is wrong? Go talk to your mom. Because apparently with I think it's the ghost pepper, or maybe it's another one. Like, I guess you have to sign a waiver if you want to order it.
Oh, great. He wants to see you cry and make a total fool of yourself.
Yeah, not going to happen.
So you agreed.
Yeah. So positive focus.
Wait. Did you agree?
No, no.
You did. You're not willing to, as a father, you're not willing to rise to the challenge?
No.
Dude, come on, step up your game.
No.
What does it say on your shirt?
I think it just says Range Day.
Range Day.
Yeah, it's a grunt style shirt. Club grunt style shirt. So I don't know. I get it every month.
If you're gonna wear a shirt like that, you got to be a tough guy. If you're gonna be a tough guy, you got to go to this Dave's Hot Chicken and you got to sign the waiver.
All right, I'll go to Dave's Hot Chicken. Here's what I'll do. I'll go to Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yeah.
Camera crew and everything.
Okay.
And I will ask for mild, plain, original, non-hot chicken.
We need to start lighting you up.
No. So anyway, I'm going to go to my positive focus now.
Do it.
Which was on Friday. So Friday, I was uninspired to do work in the morning. So I ran out and did an errand for my daughter while she was at work. And that led to a fuck it moment where I was like, you know what? I just need to get out and enjoy life. So I drove over to Best Buy. There was a new Pokemon set released on Friday. And I was like, I got to go see what the line is going to be like.
And you're buying this for yourself?
My daughter.
Okay.
My daughter. So the store opens at 10. I decide at 9:15, 9:20. I drive over there. Not too bad of a line. I was the 27th person in line.
Wait, what day of the week is this?
This was Friday
morning.
Friday morning at 10 o'clock. They
Okay.
opened. I got in line about 9:30, 9:35. It was the 27th person in line. Very happy that I got some stuff for my daughter to open. She was excited. Love sharing these father-daughter moments.
Yeah.
Other work-related positive focus is that on, I think, Sunday, which is becoming a theme. Sunday is a very, very productive thinking day for me. I finally wrapped my head around a webinar that I'm going to be giving, I believe in 2 weeks' time, just under 2 weeks' time, that I'm really, really fired up about. Like, so I've always wanted to do a webinar and on Facebook ads, and I've done them in the past, but like, you know, with my brutally honest ad reviews and the brand I'm building, I really need to come out strong and give some great content. And so I came up with the title, very simple, direct to the point, but also, you know, I think eye-opening to what people want. And the webinar outline is coming together nicely. So I'm fired up about that.
Cool, dude.
Yeah.
Do you know the title of the webinar?
I do. I have to, let me just pull it up.
I feel like you used ChatGPT to write some of the copy.
I did not.
You didn't?
Well, hold on. I did not use it to write the copy, but I definitely. What's that?
Title of the webinar.
I'm pulling it up. Gosh,
no,
you're
I'm asking you. Did you come up with the title, or did ChatGPT come up with the title?
So it was a collaboration because I told ChatGPT what I wanted. ChatGPT gave me the ideas. I didn't like them, and then
you tweaked it.
I piggybacked off of what it generated. I could talk you through it. It's actually a really cool process. So the webinar title is How to Make Your Facebook Ads Work in 2025 like they did before iOS 14 without testing hundreds of ads or launching new creative every few days.
Cool. Yeah. And when are you going to do it?
I have to pull up the registration page now to see what date I picked, because I just fucked, like, I was building the reg page on Monday, and I was like, I need a date. I don't have one. And then I was like, no, fuck it. I just need to pick a date. So
yeah, that's how it works. I have a webinar today, midday. It's my first wealth hypnosis webinar of the year.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
So I've earmarked mine. It looks like Thursday, April 10th.
Cool.
Although it doesn't seem right.
So a week from tomorrow. Awesome.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right, because I'm not going to be ready to promote it and get people on it. We'll see what happens.
Why not? You can get that. You can get a webinar registration squeeze and thank you and done in a day.
Oh, it's already done. I'm saying, am I going to have the content ready and get the guests registered in time? So this will be a good challenge.
Good.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, speaking of challenge, how that all went for you this week. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. So why don't we get into that?
Yeah, let's start with that. So you did something interesting this week. You got involved with something that was a little bit over your head, you felt.
Yep.
So what's the story? All I know is the bit of copy that you gave me this morning. So what happened?
Yeah, so on March 6th, I joined a coaching program to learn how to, do better at organic marketing, if you will. And
are you willing to share what the thing was that you joined, or who it was, or are you going to keep it a secret?
Oh no, I don't mind at all. The company is called Predictable Sales. It is run by a guy, I believe, out of Australia by the name of Chris Morrison.
Oh.
Chris, I've had very, very little interaction with. I was actually contacted well over a year ago by one of his setters, who is now his head closer. And this is fascinating, and we're going to go off topic apparently, which is fine. So this guy, Kyle, I believe it's Kyle Morgan. Let me just check real quick. Because he's definitely worth having a conversation with. So this guy, Kyle Morgan, sent me a friend request over a year ago.
Oh, is this the guy? Is this the guy you told me about and introduced me to, Kyle?
Different Kyle.
Different Kyle. Okay.
Different Kyle. So apparently you have to be a Kyle to do organic marketing.
That's right. That's one of the key requirements.
Change your name to Kyle. So Kyle sends me a friend request over a year ago. And that was really it. Nothing, fascinating about it that I recall. None of these like immediate cold DMs on I'm going to pitch you this, that, or the other thing. So I start engaging with Kyle on Facebook, just, natively. He posts a question, I comment. A day or two later, I get a DM. Hey, Rory, really great to connect. I loved the comment you left on my post. Thanks for that. Hey, no problem. It was a great post, yada, yada, yada. Well, what did you like about it? Well, it reminded me of this, that. So we had this natural conversation. Oh, that's awesome. I see you run ads, you have an agency, right? And we go back and forth. And eventually at the right time, at the very right time. And what I mean by that is a lot of people, it's the dating metaphor, right? When you go to a bar and, and I don't do this, right? I've never gone to bars to pick up women, but metaphorically speaking, when you go to a bar, you see an attractive woman that you want to get to know, you get her attention, you warm her up, you get to know her, you talk to her. You don't immediately walk up to this hot woman at a bar and go, hey, you want to F? Right. You want to get out of here and go back. I mean, maybe some people do that and maybe it works. Maybe it's a numbers game. I don't know. But, it's the whole you got to build that know, and trust factor. So that's what Kyle did. And so I say at the right time, he said, how's business going? Is it where you want it to be? And it felt very, very genuine. And, me being a genuine guy, it's going okay, but I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What do you really want? Well, I want this, I want that. Okay, cool. Like, what's the biggest problem you have getting there right now? Well, this, that, and the other. Okay, cool. Would you be interested in, learning about such and such? And normally when someone are like, hey, would you like to learn about such and such? They do it first. Cold
right.
DM,
That's what
cold
they lead
pitch.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're lucky if they spell everything right and have,
I don't know you.
And have halfway decent grammar.
Yeah, which I should tell you about something I've been working on too, if we have time. So we have this great conversation. Of course, I open up to him. I share with him. He tells me about this program. I'm sold on the program from the get-go.
Cool.
At the time, I was building an agency and a coaching program with a business partner. I went back to him. He didn't think we should invest the money at that time in the program because of where we were and the momentum we were gaining. And I was like, okay, whatever. So we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Dude kept in touch, reached out to me again in, mid-February, picked up right where they left off. And, long story short, I knew this was the thing that I needed to do. So I enrolled. Again, the company is Predictable Sales, or at least that's the program name. It's run by a guy named Chris Morrison. And the guy I spoke with and think is absolutely brilliant at setting and cold DMing is Kyle Morgan. Very, very sharp guy. So anyway, so I signed up on March 6th. First 2 weeks, I kind of like meandered my way through it. There's things you need to do, and I started doing it. And by the second week, I stepped up my game a little bit more. And so this is now March 21st, Friday, March 21st. Chris, we have a Facebook group just for the active clients of the program. And Chris, comes in and says, hey, I think next week we should do a, book 10 calls challenge. Who's in? And I was one of the first people to reply. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm in. But the fuck it, I'm in was after I spent probably 10 minutes internally going, book 10 calls from organic next week. I've never done that. I don't know if I can do that.
Okay. So you've never booked 10 sales calls in a week?
Not from organic, no.
Oh, so just from social posting?
Yeah, just from social posting, not paid ads.
Okay.
Just from social post. That's what I mean by organic.
I understand. Okay, I was just getting the frame. Okay, so but and are you allowed to use your list?
I mean, my email list, no. My friend list, yes.
You're not allowed to use your email list.
I mean, I shouldn't say I'm not allowed to, but the whole point is it's organic social posting.
Yeah. That's the traffic source. That's the whole point. Okay.
Yeah. So again, I had this internal conversation where I was like, nope, I can't do this. I've never done it before. Like all this internal dialogue holding me back rather than just saying, fuck it, I'm in.
Yeah.
Because like literally, why not? Fuck it, I'm in. Why not?
Yeah. Worst case scenario, you're going to get more sales calls, and
Well, I mean,
and you're probably like worst case scenario, you're going to have some sales calls and you're going to learn a bunch, but like slightly better is you're going to make some money, and like
yeah, but see, I didn't even do that, because worst case scenario to me was I'll probably get no calls, and then I'm just going to look like an idiot. Why should I like all this negative self-talk automatically happening?
Kicked in. Yeah.
It kicked in. And I just said, fuck it. I got nothing to lose.
Right.
And so last week I stopped counting. I mean, I think by Tuesday I had 8 calls booked, and I know I had a couple more last week, but so I didn't count them. I didn't track them as well as I should have. And what I mean track them is like they give you a spreadsheet that you're supposed to fill out with all the conversations you're having so you can track them.
And so anyway, in the habit of doing so, right?
Yeah. So anyway, all of that to say, I spent a good 5-10 minutes internal dialoguing, giving myself all the reasons why I shouldn't do it.
Right.
And eventually, thank God, I overcame it and was just like, no, I'm playing small. Let's do it. And what happened? 8 or 9 calls easily. Lots of business opportunities from it. No business closed. I did get one guy who I sent a payment link to, and he was supposed to pay. He didn't yet. So like to me,
that's how it works sometimes.
Yeah, like, so to me, that's not a close, right? Like it's not
a close until the money's in the bank. Yeah. It's not really a close until there's money is in the bank and the customer is fully satisfied. But still, yep.
Hold on one second. Sorry, Lacey texted me something.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, like it was like, what was this limiting belief, and why did I allow it to be there in the first place? Like, why didn't I just fucking shoot my hand up and be like, let's fucking go. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the universe has in store for Rory.
So, okay, this course that you joined.
Yep.
This program that you joined, how long is it total?
I don't even fucking know.
And is it live coaching or you said there's some live elements. Is there pre-recorded elements too, or is that all live?
Yeah, no, there's pre-recorded modules that you go through.
And how much was the investment? Like, how much did you spend on this thing?
$10,000.
Okay, so so it was a significant investment. This wasn't a $49 like throwaway, right? Well, I had no idea what the level of.
No, it's a great point. It's a great point.
But no, that's a huge element in whether or not you're going to succumb to the fear and stay where you are, or whether you're going to step up. For most people, if you spend 10 grand, you're much more likely to be on the call in the first place when they have them. You're much more likely to be paying attention, and you're much more likely to actually move forward and take action. Though there are a lot of people that spend a lot of money and still somehow manage to never take action.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that is as strong of as a factor. But in comparison, when you think about, I think it's a lot easier to write off a $49 tripwire than a $10K coaching program.
Well, I'm stoked though to hear that you got 8 or 9 calls booked. I'm very interested in learning about your process there. It's cool that you did it and that you got them booked so fast, and it looks like they're going to lead to business. So like, definitely check in next week. Let's see how many of those you can close.
Yeah, that'd be fucking great, man. I'm excited.
That's awesome. And you're looking to sign these people on as agency clients, or what's your intention with the calls?
Yeah. So good question, right? So in this program, they want you to have like one main offer.
Yeah.
I don't have one main offer right now. I mean, I know where I want to go, but I'm testing offers right now, and I'm having conversations. So one conversation I did have last week, I was offered a 40-hour a week full-time in-house, like physical location job. That was, not a fit at all. I have another, the payment link that's out is for me to come in on a small retainer with a percent of upside, so percent of growth for a subscription box company that is having a hard time growing because the owner of the business is not a marketer.
Right.
Yeah. So it's something I'm familiar with, and have a lot of different ideas on how to grow it. Like for instance, he doesn't easily readily know his cost per acquisition, his average order value, and because it's a monthly subscription or quarterly subscription box, he also doesn't know what's his stick rate.
Right.
Right. So when I asked him, what's your stick rate, which is really important to know in continuity.
Yeah. How many months? What's the average number of months somebody sticks on after they signed up to your subscription box?
He said, well, most people order 4 boxes, but I also have a lot of people that stay on for years. And I go, that's awesome. But that's not a stick rate. You have to be able to average that down and go, okay, the average customer stays for 5 months. Because once we know the average customer stays for 5 months, or I should say we identify the pattern that they don't renew after the 4th one, then we have to look and go, how do we get them to stay longer? What does it take, or why is it that they don't want to stay? We have to do that research to get them over that hump so we can increase, lifetime customer value.
Well, it also tells you how much money you can spend.
Exactly.
To acquire a new customer, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. So I have that. Had another conversation with the director of business development for a very, very well-known SaaS company that it looks like I have been at least offered the opportunity to come in and run ads for them on a performance basis. So at first it was, hey, like we're looking for, people to come in on an affiliate model. We'll come up with a CPA. And I was like, you want me to spend my own money? He's like, that's usually what people do. I go, awesome. For the right person, that's a great deal. I said, right now, I'm not in a position to do that. He said, okay, would you be willing if I gave you an ad budget to run ads for us? And depending upon how you do, we'll figure out how we can pay you. And I said, okay, let me get this right. So you're going to give me money to spend. You're not going to pay me, but assuming I can put my money where my mouth is, there'll be some kind of performance incentive built in if we continue. And he said, yeah. And I, abso-fucking-lutely. Like this is not like a mom and pop shop. This is a very, very publicly facing, privately held company with a significant track record in the marketplace.
So they don't want to pay you because they have been burned too many times by people that they've paid the ad money and like double again as the fee, and then or why won't they pay you?
I really didn't ask. It's a
cool opportunity to do, but I would probably do it too. But like, it seems like a red flag to me that they wouldn't be willing to pay you.
Well, on the one hand, they could have just walked away and not offered me anything, right? Because they have all the traffic they need. They just want more. Right? So let's talk about that. Yesterday, I got DM'd by somebody who is looking for a CMO for their company. And they mapped out an entire compensation package based on, growth, sales, commission, everything, multi 6-figure offer, but nothing paid up front. And whereas the other company, I said yes to the opportunity, this one I'm being a lot more critical about just based on where they are as a business, what they're doing. The risk seems a little bit higher than the reward.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing a lot of people, I think, don't realize with marketing. It's something I didn't get at the time. I think I've seen this come up where people say, well, if you're so good at what you do, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Why don't you waive the $5,000 fee, help me make $5,000 and I'll give it to you? Like, to me, at one point in my career, that was very, very smart.
It indicates a certain degree of being skeptical from the client side. And it's cool it's cool to roll the dice if you need the work, right? And it's a way of getting your foot in the door. On the other hand, if you're dealing with a client that's like holding back because they're skeptical, like that's kind of like, okay, I'll go out on a date with you if you buy my outfit. It's just kind of like, come on, like, so I guess in my mind, do they really want to work with you, or do they really just want the money? They just want the result. And I would look for people that want to work with you.
Absolutely.
That trust you, that know you, that believe you.
Absolutely.
And they're competing for to work with you versus you trying to prove yourself to them. But all depends on what you're looking for. So is your intention with this? I know you have a bunch of different offerings, but I had 4 different conversations with people this week about director of marketing, CMO, fractional CMO type positions, right?
Yep.
And so I haven't been paying close attention to your posts this week.
Yep.
And are you posting mostly on Facebook?
I don't know that I've been ridiculously active this week on Facebook.
Well, I mean, how did you go about posting in order to get all these calls happen? Like, what platforms were you making noise on?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Definitely Facebook. Yeah. Sorry, Facebook.
And so is your intention to get a director of marketing position, either full-time or part-time, or, /CMO, or is your intention to get agency clients? Like, what's your target?
I'm more interested in, I guess you could call it, more performance-based deals.
Yeah, so like fractional CMO performance-based deals.
Yeah, and I'm more inclined to take something on where there's at least some sort of base for a couple reasons. Number one, I do have bills to pay and I do have to put food on the table for my family.
Yeah, totally.
Number two, putting money out as a business owner puts some skin in the game.
Totally.
Right?
I totally agree. I fully agree. And dude, when you have a family and you have a partner and you have kids and they're getting older and all these things, performance-based is great, but it's a huge roll of the dice for everybody involved, because one is, well, will you and your marketing expertise be up to the challenge? Maybe. But will they? Are they able to turn on a dime? Are they able to adopt an entirely new marketing philosophy? Are they willing to run ads that are outside of their comfort zone? Are they willing to rebuild a funnel that's going to be optimized to convert? And some people, yes, and a lot, they dig in anytime change comes up, and they're a pain in the ass. So just doing performance-based deals with no base it's not an ideal. It's not an ideal situation.
It's not, right? So again, you have to evaluate. I shouldn't say you. I'm evaluating them case by case by case.
Right.
When a multi-$100 million a year company says, "Hey, come in, run ads, do a good job, prove yourself," there'll be more meat on the bone for you. I'm willing to play in that pond. It's almost like, think of some, and again, I don't know this because I'm not an attorney, but it's based on what I see in the marketplace and on television, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, some percentage of very successful law firms do have a percentage of their roster that is pro bono work, giving back.
Right.
So I look at it and go, all right, yeah, if company X, Y, and Z wants me to come in and do a little bit of pro bono work, and I think there's going to be upside, whether it's from, getting an agency client out of it, cool. Maybe it's more of, I want to get introduced to their network.
Or get a particular type of case study under your belt.
Yeah. Right.
For a new marketing methodology or whatever. Yeah, no, there are lots of opportunities to do Yeah, if you have the free time and everything else is stable, right?
Yeah. So
cool, man. Well, I mean, the reason I'm asking these questions is because if you're clear on, I mean, obviously you know this already, but when you're putting your social posts out, like those are ads.
Yep.
And if you don't know the funnel you're running people to, and you don't know the primary offer that you're intending to make, then are you going to write the right ads for the right people in the first place? And the answer is maybe, if you're lucky. And so I was just curious about the nature of your ads, aka social posts that are generating these phone calls. Are they? Well, I guess I'll just go look at them. But
I mean, feel free to ask too, dude. I mean,
are they geared toward people looking for a performance-based fractional CMO media buyer? Is that who they're geared toward, or who are the ads geared toward attracting and or getting to respond? Like, what's your who do you have in mind when you're writing these?
Let's go through my news feed right now. So on March 31st, I posted a long copy ad that started out with paid ads, especially Facebook ads, have become nothing more than a giant game of telephone tag. Basically setting the stage that at this point, 9 years into Facebook ads as a biz op, it's I heard from so-and-so who heard from so-and-so who heard from so-and-so who heard, and that message gets diluted, right? And my premise that most people know is I think 90%, if not higher, of people running Facebook ads today don't know what they're talking about, don't know what they're doing, and probably should sit this one out. They probably shouldn't be running ads. And I feed into that story going, you hire somebody, they don't know what they're doing, they see it as a biz op, so they're playing with your money, they're playing with your business on the line, they're turning to Facebook groups for questions. Like, you're not getting a true expert. So this particular one, the call to action at the end was, don't confuse my belief in my system, grounded in data and result, with arrogance or ego. There's none of that here. And to prove it, I'm going to put everything down in a live training that I'll host in about a week or two. It's called How to Make Your Facebook Ads Work in 2025 like they did before iOS 14. So now I have 36 people that reacted and 30 comments. So now I know people are interested in that training. The one before that,
this is the one with the GIF and the string and the cans, right?
Yeah. Yep. The one before that, if you scroll down to the 30th, interestingly enough, is stop asking for advice in Facebook groups.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything is fucking wrong. Like, if you look at that screenshot, every single piece of advice in that one example is completely fucking wrong. Every single person that commented is trying to peacock. They're trying to show how smart they are. And I posit or hypothesize, what would this look like if people actually said the truth, which is, I don't know.
Right. I noticed you're doing these gallery posts.
Sometimes.
Is that part of the coaching program you're going through?
Nope. Sometimes it's just me.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just me putting evidence in place. The one before that, I do this every couple of days. I post a screenshot of the next episode of Brutally Honest Ad Reviews, talk a little bit about it, tease it, put the
oh, dude, hold on one sec. Bonnie, if you're still watching, what's up? Thanks for liking the video. We haven't talked in years, but I want more women on the Get Shit Done show. And if you want to get on the Get Shit Done show, do you know Bonnie Faye, Rory?
I don't know. I'm actually trying to get over to your profile to see the comment.
There's no comment. Anyway, Bonnie, I would love to interview you if you're down. I'll shoot you a message. Anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for everybody who's watching. Sorry to interrupt, Rory. Go for it.
Okay, sorry. No, you're fine. So I was saying, like, so I'll post the episode. I'll tease a little bit about it. If you want to sign up and get episodes like this delivered to your inbox, check the first comment where I put the URL. And, people join my list organically. I think I told you, or maybe I didn't tell you, but Last week, I actually turned off my ads for Brutally Honest ad reviews because I was getting more signups organically than I was from paid. And it didn't make sense to keep spending that money every day right now. Granted, I was only spending like $20-$30 a day. So I shouldn't expect an overwhelming.
But when you say that you're getting more signups from organic than paid, I mean, obviously the quality is going to be much more higher with organic if it's real. So what are you actually, I think I know, but what are you actually doing on a presumably a consistent basis to get high quality organic signups to your list, hopefully that are buying things? Like what is your activity like that's creating that result? How are you doing that?
So connect, looking at Facebook, finding out who I want to connect with and sending friend requests, not cold DMing them, to be very, very clear, not cold DMing them at all. In fact, when I get a friend request now, and we should back up, right? So when Facebook first came out, before marketers ruined it, when you got a friend request, people would message you, "Hey, Rory, I saw you on this. I'd love to get to know you."
Right.
Marketers came on board, and that the pleasantry disappeared a little bit.
Totally.
And I hated using Facebook for business. Like, to me, Facebook was about personal. And sure, I'd add some business people, but I didn't put out a lot of business stuff on my Facebook profile.
A lot of business vibes.
Yeah. I've dramatically changed that. So now, number one, when people send me a friend request and I review it to see who they are, and I'm careful about who I let in. There are people that I'll see that I'll be like, "Hey, what made you, thanks for the friend request. Really cool to connect. Out of curiosity, what made you reach out?"
Right. Strike up a conversation.
Yeah. And some of them are just like, "Hey, you were in my recommendations. I wanted to talk to you." Awesome.
Right.
Some people are like, "Oh, I've seen you around for a while. Thought it'd be cool to connect." Awesome. When I go out now and look at friend requests, I go, who's a cool and interesting person that I'd like to get to know?
Right.
I'm not looking at it going, "Ooh, haha, who's my next victim?" Like, I'm looking at it and going, who is someone that I can genuinely connect with, strike up a conversation, and see where it goes. Again, much like the dating metaphor at a bar, I mean, shit, I sent a friend request. I think I sent a friend request to a woman last week, and she just looked like someone cool to get to know. I liked her vibe. I liked how she showed up in the world. Last week, Tellman, one of my social posts. Let me see if I can scroll through and find it, because this was a fun one for me. I don't know how if you'd like it, but if we go back to,
I think I was just looking at this one. The blue, with the Facebook screenshot of Sophia or something?
Yeah. So on March 26th, I posted a screenshot of a group DM that I started, and I said, I just introduced 2 cold DMers who pitched me their services without taking any time to look into my current situation or needs. And I just put them together and said, "Hey, you guys like to cold DM. Why don't you cold DM each other?
Right.
And if you do a good enough job, maybe I'll work with one of you."
Right.
Now, so and that has gotten,
I love that that's, and you got 70 comments. It's great.
70
really good
comments and 118 interactions. Now, that woman who I told you I reached out to with a friend request and thought, "Hey, you'd be cool to get to know," I think it was like Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
She laugh reacted to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, she's got that sense of humor. Awesome. And I thought about messaging her, but I was like, nah, let's give it time. And sure as shit, like an hour later, I get a DM from her saying, "Oh my God, Rory, that is the fucking most hilarious thing ever.
Right.
You seem like a really cool guy. I'd love to talk to you." So we started sending audio messages back and forth. Come to find out, she's got quite a story. I mean, shit, I'd say let's get her on the Get Shit Done show, but she is on the West Coast, so 3 hours behind.
I just interviewed Paul Hoffman yesterday. He was 3 hours behind. He gets up at 4 a.m. He doesn't have any problems.
But that's Paul. That's Paul.
Oh, it's fine. Just tell her to go to
Listen,
success.
whoa. I didn't say I won't ask her. I'm just saying she's on the West
No,
Coast.
I'm working that out with David Garfinkel too, dude, because he's not willing to get up at 6 a.m.
Yeah. So anyway, we started exchanging audios back and forth. I looked at her profile, and sure as shit, like, she started this new thing called the referral room, where business people just get together, sit down, and go, all right, who do we know that we can introduce one another to?
Cool.
What a great fucking concept.
Right.
So I'm just, it's strategic networking, if you will. Right? Like, I'm not walking into the event going, I'm just going to do business with everybody here. It's like, all right, let me take a few seconds.
Yeah, but here's the question, though.
Yep.
So you're doing these posts, and I do see some level of like formula to some of them. Like, you're trying the same like the gallery post, for example. I haven't done the gallery post. I've done like maybe 2 ever. You know what I mean? That's an aspect. I've heard Kern in a couple trainings recently talk about gallery posts, interestingly. But what I'm not hearing is how people are going to your website and joining the website. I do understand that you're doing some smart, cool posts and you're getting engagement. And in the last week, you took on a challenge to specifically turn those into phone calls, and that's working. But how are people joining your website? Are they just going to your profile and clicking on your about link? Are you cooking your URL into some of the images that you're putting in your gallery posts?
Oh, like, yeah. So
how is that occurring?
Yeah.
How is that occurring?
So sorry, I may have went through this fast. I can present. Yay. Share screen. Facebook. Share. Can you see my Facebook?
No, but you will be able to in a second. Here we go. Yep.
Okay. So this one, and I said I do this a couple times a week. Today's episode of Brutally Honest Ad Reviews is a masterclass on marketing gone wrong, yada, yada, yada. If you're wondering what else is wrong about this, you can get this episode and ones just like it by either subscribing to my daily free email newsletter, link in the comments below, or joining us in our Facebook group where sometimes I share the episodes. And then the first comment right here is a link to the newsletter sign up.
And interestingly, this post, could you scroll up a little bit? Up to the top of the post. And yeah, so this comment was from March 29th, a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, only has that one comment. So this post is like, it's almost like a Trojan horse. Like, I mean, I know you probably didn't write it not to get comments, but it clearly didn't get the comments. That that one didn't. Right.
Yeah. Not all of them do.
Right. Some of them do.
Not
some
all of them do.
Yep.
Here's one that did. A meme, and it got decent engagement. This one got decent engagement.
But the ones with engagement don't seem to have a link.
Correct. Because the goal is not to just send people links or drive them. It's to start conversations.
Yeah.
It's a really, really cool methodology. And I don't want to break down all of it.
Yeah.
Largely because it's not my methodology.
It's a $10,000 program that you just joined. Yeah. No, I mean, straight up.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a fantastic program to get conversations going with people. I mean, theoretically speaking, the idea is, you post great content, you get engagement, you start relationships with people, you start having conversations, you find out about them, genuine relationship, curiosity, find out what they need, find out what they want. Is it something you offer? Can you help them? And you go from there.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fucking fun. And honestly, I would say that it's probably one of the smarter, better investments I've made in myself and my business in a very, very long time. I wholeheartedly believe in the process. And this is coming from a guy who thought organic was a waste of time and stupid and unnecessary when you can just run paid ads and amplify it. Yeah, it's a really fucking cool program with great people too. Really cool people.
Cool. Yeah. Rock and roll. Well, I'm really interested in seeing as that unfolds for you.
Yeah.
So, And I'm interested in, it's interesting process. It's also interesting that it's the funny thing. It's interesting that you're using organic posts to generate opt-ins and phone calls while selling stuff about how to do effective ads.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. And it just goes to show that, I think it's, but the social posts that you're doing are totally ads. They're 100% ads. They're just ads that are interaction driven, not cash driven. But here's the other thing, Rory. What about the idea of, and maybe this is after the coaching program is over, but what about the idea of boosting posts that get interaction?
Yep.
And literally just turning them into ads.
Yep.
Right? Like that seems like an obvious next step.
Yeah. And I think, it was something Kurt and I talked about, not the three of us, but the first conversation I had with Kurt, he was telling me some of that with his strategy. Cause Kurt has an organic strategy. It's
same thing. Yeah, totally.
It's brilliant.
Yep.
And he does, he'll take the ones that really seem to hit a nerve and boost them a little bit to get some more engagement and hopefully some signups to his workshops. And yeah, I mean, I think the big thing here, Tellman, just seeing the time. I mean, I don't have to leave, but just out of respect for time,
I can go a little over too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I think the big thing is 8, 9, 10 years ago, and even up until 3 or 4 years ago, it was a lot simpler, a lot more straightforward, where you could make a direct offer and people would respond immediately and you could scale that up. Meaning like one funnel away, right? Like one funnel. Most people I know today are not doing very well with just one funnel, are not doing very well with just high ticket or just low ticket. It's really at this point, you need to have a marketing flywheel. Otherwise, you don't have a business. You have an offer, and offers have a shelf life.
Right.
Right. And I want to expand on this for a second. I got somebody reached out to me the other day that, hey, Rory, have you ever run supplement ads? Yes, I've run supplement ads. I've done quite a bit with supplements. Awesome. I just signed up. I just enrolled a supplement client. Would you mind talking to me and sharing some of your experience with me? Now, let's pause for a second here.
Yeah.
He said, can I pick your brain?
Uh-huh.
Now, most people, here's the link, pay me.
Right.
This guy, I'm going to be honest, I said yes to because this is somebody who I consider a friend.
Yeah.
This is somebody who got me in the door with Tony Robbins and mastermind.com. So
that's different then, dude. I mean, like you and I talk all the time and exchange ideas and helps each other solve problems.
Exactly.
But I'm have a relationship with somebody, right?
But I'm talking out loud for our audience to hear this stuff, right? So, of course I'll help you. Like, what questions do you have? So he asked me a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
This morning I wake up and I have another DM from him that's like, hey, Rory, what's your take on this? And the supplement owner who's running the ads right now has a methodology where he runs the ads. He runs all the campaigns until about 12:30.
Yeah.
The ones that are working continue to run the rest of the day. The ones that aren't working get turned off
for the day,
and we'll get turned back on at midnight. That to me is not how you run ads. That's not a true business, because that's not your. To me, a true business is something that can sustain both good and bad days because you have a back end. This is a front end. This is what I called an offer, right? Like, you need to make X amount of dollars every single day to continue on.
It's a hot dog cart.
Yeah.
Right. It's the beginning of a business.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It could be the beginning of a business, but right now, like you said, it's a hot dog cart.
I'm reminded of a local guy up here in Vermont who I met years ago. He started selling. His name's Tito, and Tito was selling burritos and breakfast burritos.
Did he call it Tito's Burritos?
Tito's Tacos, baby.
No,
and
Tito's burrito. Oh.
And he sold them at a convenience store that was down the street from my house. They were breakfast burritos, and there was nowhere else nearby to get any kind of good breakfast food. But it was so sketchy because it was like one of those igloo coolers, and it had like a handwritten cardboard sign. It was like $3.75, and it had all these hand wrapped in, tin foil breakfast burritos, and they were only there like 3 days a week, 2 days a week, and they would sell out instantaneously because they were his like grandmother's recipe or whatever. And so he had these at this convenience store, and that's what he used to make the money to buy the hot dog cart. And he bought himself a cart, taco cart, and then he was down on the street, like on the sidewalk, selling tacos all day long. And he used that money to get 3 hot dog carts. And then he had 2 other guys in different strategic locations, all selling. And then he used that money to get his truck. And he got a truck. And then he had a truck for a little while, got a couple of trucks. And now he has 3 restaurants.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That are like all, roughly 45 minutes apart or whatever, over the course of less than 10 years, So yeah, that's what I mean. It's the difference between a hot dog cart and a business, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So it's just interesting things to look at in the world of business and marketing in terms of what's real and sustainable, what's not. I appreciate your perspective, reframing it to that's the start of a business, and I called it an offer. I'm obviously very, very jaded.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like no offer, no business.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
I'm very jaded. I want to share this because it's an interesting, like I said, you gave me a good reframe, and it's an interesting perspective to have on things. Is that I'm jaded by all the wannabes who come to you and are like, oh my God, I've got this great widget and we're going to market it. We're going to sell it. And I'm like, yeah, like there's nothing here.
Right.
Nothing here.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
well, dude, speaking of widgets, so I've been exploring a little bit. So WAP. So,
yes, yeah.
A couple weeks ago, there's a guy who I don't really know that well on social media. I thought I got an email, but there's no email reference. It was just a social media post from Sean Kemp. Do you know this guy?
I know a Sean, or know of a Sean Kemp.
He's a marketing guy.
Yeah.
I went to college with a guy named Matt Kemp, and he was a housemate for a little while. So whenever I see this guy Sean Kemp's name, I'm always like, I wonder if he's related to Matt Kemp, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
And he was talking about WAP. And I don't even so I just happened to go look at it. And I was like, holy crap. So here's what's up, dude. First of all, guys, if you're inspired by what I'm about to say, I encourage you to click on my affiliate link in the description and go join WAP. It'll be worth it. So I had an onboarding call with him yesterday. And and apparently I also saw that said Sean Kemp just said he's moving to New York City because he just took a position to go work for WAP. So interestingly enough, so he seems like he's a direct response marketing guy. I think we have a bunch of common friends, but I don't think he and I have ever personally connected.
Yeah.
Hopefully we haven't, or I'm going to sound like a jerk. But but I was inspired by his post, and he indicated that WAP is the new ClickBank, that WAP is the new JV Zoo, except times 100, literally. Yeah. And so here's the deal. So WAP is, do you know anything about it?
No.
Okay. It's built by 20 somethings.
Yep.
Okay. And I watched this backstory video by one of the founders. It was a short 3-minute clip, but I watched it and the guy's 26. WAP's been around for like 3.5, 4 years, I think. He started his first business online when he was 13, dropped out of high school, and he's been doing online business since he was 13. So he's only 26, but half of his life he's been an internet entrepreneur. And I was like, whoa, that's cool, right? So, dude, check out that. So number one, WAP is a huge marketplace. It's called the Make Money app. Okay. And as a huge marketplace, they claim to have 5 million visitors a week. Okay. They claim that they're about to blow through $1 billion in sales on the platform. Okay. So it's like ClickBank, like JVZoo, in that there's a marketplace.
Yep.
One of the main differences, the marketplace is like predominantly featured. It's like the primary focus.
Okay.
A WAP is an offer.
Okay.
Okay. And you can create a WAP at any price point with any payment plan.
Okay.
And it all pushes through your Stripe. So it pushes through them, and I think you get paid automatically as a creator. I don't think there's a delay. It has an affiliate program, highly focused on affiliates.
Okay.
But there's an amazing twist. So they focus on teaching their creators how to create video content, primarily YouTube, right? But what they do is they have, so you can set your affiliate program to be whatever you want, I think on a per offer basis. And they do have affiliates, but they have a word for their affiliates that's different, which is clippers. Okay.
Interesting.
And a clipper is someone, or a clipper is someone who repurposes video clips and creates their own short form video.
Yep.
On social, which, as we know, is the primary type of post that is getting traction on every social media platform right now. Is short form video, right? 30 seconds to 1 minute long video clips. So you know how, as in direct response email marketing, affiliate marketing, we give our affiliates emails. We give them swipe emails that they hopefully will rewrite in their own voice and send out to their list, right? Often people just take the email and press send, right? And so you do this with clippers by giving them video that they're meant to repurpose.
Okay.
Okay. So we're giving them short form videos that they're meant to repurpose. So now they also have bounties and bounty hunters. And so a bounty is where you pay someone not for generating sales as an affiliate, but you pay someone for doing something else to promote the business. Okay. For example, I've repurposed a clip of Tellman talking about get shit done, or maybe this very video ends up going into our get shit done WAP. And we give people 10 clips that they could use, and they repurpose it. But we say, when you get 1,000 views, we're going to give you $20.
Interesting.
Send us a screenshot of your Instagram where you repurpose the post, and and you establish good relationships with a whole bunch of micro, in many cases, social media influencers. And so you can do it as affiliates, or you can do it by paying people to go out there and do essentially organic marketing for you, right? Yeah. They have the two types of courses that are really that have established there. They show how much money all the WAPs are making. They show how addictive the individual WAPs are, meaning how much time people are spending inside the product. You can do free WAPs, paid WAPs. You can do live streams, which are heavily spotlighted on the platform, and apparently very few people are using them. So for Get Shit Done, for example, Rory, we're already live streaming every day.
Yep.
And so you can RMTP in and multi-stream into WAP onto their live stream platform, which is then presented front and center inside the marketplace, inside the Discover section.
Okay.
And so the live streams apparently are super good, super underutilized, and people love them. And so you can live stream and use the live stream to create the video content that your affiliates are then repurposing to promote the WAP, right?
Yeah.
The two types of products that are really selling like crazy on there now are crypto trading and sports betting.
Huh.
And because it's these young 20 somethings that are all like trying to make money with like doing the least amount of work possible. Right.
Right.
And there are many other categories. They have all sorts of other categories, but in terms of the WAPs that really have made the most money and have been most established for the longest, those are the ones. And so I figured that these types of entrepreneurs, and they're really, I believe, mostly like money opportunity seekers, that rather than looking to biz op, they're looking to crypto and sports betting as their entry point to making money online, is my impression.
Yeah.
And so you give these guys different ways to make money online. You give them a system to do it, and they'll probably do it, right? So WAP has you can, not only that, dude, you can add people on your team, and then you can pay them. You can even run your payroll right through the app, right? So it's truly meant to be an all-in-one app. It's on your phone, it's on your desktop, right? And you can promote your own products or services on WAP. You can also just promote WAP as an affiliate, and then if anybody that signs up ends up crushing it, you end up earning a percentage of the revenue that they generate long term.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm looking into it, and I'm expecting that I'm going to launch a Get Shit Done WAP here in the next few days.
Nice.
And I think we're going to start live. I think we're going to switch from StreamYard to Restream so that we can live stream not only to WAP, but also to TikTok.
Cool.
So anyway, very excited about checking out WAP. It's the first thing I've seen in the internet marketing space like this in a long time that seems like a proper contender to ClickBank. It's a dinosaur. It's been around forever, and I'm not saying ClickBank's dead, but it's not nearly as exciting as it used to be. And WAP seems to be on the rise in a big way. So I am in the early stages of excitement about it. I have not yet run up against the problems that it has, or been discouraged by it yet, or seen the dark side, which I'm sure it has. But I am very excited about where it's going and some of the potential, especially for people who are just getting started right now for the first time trying to make money online. It seems like an amazing place to sell and create existing courses and training, and an amazing place to repurpose old stuff that you may have created in the past that sold well, but you want to get it in front of a new audience and put it on a new platform. So I'm very excited about learning more about it. The other thing that I'm very excited about, Rory, is that I triple checked this with WAP, and I during my onboarding call yesterday, which was a very pleasant experience, I might add. I had a really sweet, like, it was just the guy knew what he was doing. It was a good conversation. He answered all my questions. It was half an hour. We scheduled a follow-up because I wanted to talk to him more and pick his brain. I mean, that's what he's getting paid for. And all of this, by the way, zero cost. Now, I'm sure they take a percentage of the revenue collected, but I haven't even seen what that percentage is yet. It's not front and center. So zero out-of-pocket cost to learn about it, to try it, to build it, to put it together, to and to get everything up and running. So that's very impressive. It seems like a cool up and coming platform that I think is going to crush.
Okay, so, awesome. I look forward to hearing about it.
We're gonna get shit done on WAP, and it looks like I can sell hot sauce on there too.
Whoop whoop! That's awesome, dude. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm wicked stoked. So, cool. All right, guys, we need to wrap up. You seem like you're ready to go, Rory.
Well, yeah, it's funny. I said to you, I didn't think I had anything going, and then I just checked my calendar and was like, oh shit, I have a 10:30. So yeah, I have to wrap up and.
Okay, we're gonna roll this up. So 2 things, guys. There are a few things you need to do. Number 1 is, if you want to write better ads that convert like crazy, go to brutallyhonestadreviews.com/GSD. That stands for Get Shit Done. brutallyhonestadreviews.com/GSD. Do it now. Number 2 is, you want to get shit done. You're an entrepreneur. You want to overcome procrastination. You want to increase your productivity. You want to get shit done. You want to make more money this year than you've ever made in your life. You want to really get efficient and effective, you want to stop holding yourself back, you want to get shit done, go to getshitdone.com, join the cult. And number three, actually, you know what? I'm going to do number 4. So number 3, this is a long ass link for the wealth hypnosis webinar that's happening later today. Take a screenshot. You can write it down. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And I'll just say, look, if you want to join WAP, click on the link in the description.
Nice.
It'll be great. And Rory, this has been great. Awesome having you on the episode as always. And I look forward to the next time.
All right. Sounds good, brother. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody. Rory, I'll give you a call. All right.
All right.
Bye,
yeah.
guys.
You got it. All right. Bye, guys.